Dorman's Gallopers with the original steam engine to drive them, and Gavioli organ. I should have said they're now owned by Frank Lithgow. Unfortunately, I had a bit of trouble with the camera at this point. This organ is owned by Ken Frost, a Carl Fry made in Valkirk, which it says there's a similar one in the museum there. It's called the Ocker, or the Urker, I suspect is the correct way to pronounce it, which means either the golden one or somebody from Aachen in Germany. It still has the original bellows, it does not blown by a fan. size organs, an 89-key Merengue built in 1912, restored in 1961 by Victor Chiappa of London after being purchased in a derelict condition. It was formerly travelled by Drakeleys of Stetchford, Birmingham, who sold it to an antique dealer for the carved front at the time. Fortunately, we managed to buy the organ front complete with the organ. Herbert Epton also has some sort of claim to fame in connection with Pickering, in that for the very first rally he put the organ on a trailer and towed it with a farm tractor from Carrington, which is near Boston in Lincolnshire, all the way to Pickering, which is quite an achievement really. But of course that was a long time ago when there wasn't quite so much traffic on the road, and probably not an M1 motorway either. Remarkable device was a replica of a Trevithick steam carriage. It does actually go, though they had a fair amount of trouble with it. I think it used to go better when it was first built. The valve gear is simply incredible, and the previous organ, the Mortier, was it's owned by William Kelders of the Netherlands, built in 1996. It's based on a 1920 style 80-key Mortier organ and has 14 registers and was built by the owner. Now this is Dorman's Gallopers, now owned by Lithgow's. And of course we had to run out of tape in the camera at that point. I've lost it now. It's an 89 key Gavioli, and the main thing it is a sort of well-known old three-abreast Gallopers built by Savages in 1882, and it still has a steam driving engine in the middle, which one can see fairly easily. I hope you'll see it, or you may have seen it in the earlier shot anyway. Now let's carry on with the rest of the film. A 98 key Gavioli built in 1895. There's not much known about the early history of it. It was bought in September 1985 from Mr. Bill Sykes and is now owned by A&M Reader of Chilwell near Nottingham.
We'll give these agricultural and general purpose engines a nice lineup of Showman's engines. Yeah, 4-inch carrot, single cylinder, off you go. And that's by Mr. Young there. Good friend Alan Birdsall driving this super power. The locomotives you've seen now, the agricultural, the rollers, the steam lorries, the miniatures. And now these wonderful Showman's engines, which of course took the rides from town to town and drove them as well. And you can see some of these Showman's engines in their static display. Going on in the arena, the Pickford's heavy haulage, next in, followed by the scaffolds.
this is the 89 key De Groote Gavioli. It was built in 1900, an original 89 key G4 scale built in Valkirk in the Black Forest, so it's a Black Forest Gavioli. It was owned in Holland, and then eventually Arthur Mason bought it in 1963, and the Dutch were rather upset that it came to England. In July 1996 it was saved from possible export by being purchased by the present owner, who is Nigel Myers of Roughforth in Yorkshire. It's since had a total rebuild by Andrew Pilmer and Russell Wattham of AC Pilmers, and the organ facade was restored by and under the guidance of Wilfried Siegel of Valkirk in the Black Forest, using traditional gilding techniques. Now, not everybody is happy with the facade, but on the whole, the Dutch in particular are happy with the sound. They think it's all right. Personally, when I first heard it, I wasn't very happy with it, but then that was because I was listening to a newly made book by Pilmers. If one listens to the original Dutch books, or French books as they would have been, no, they would have been Valkirk German books. It's a lot better. I heard it at Dorset. It was a lot better than hearing it here. Also, here wasn't helped by having that awful show for the kids, which was directly opposite to it. I had to sort of wait for that to stop before I could film it properly. should have mentioned that most of the pipes on the Gruta Gavioli were repaired, rebuilt, or where necessary, new ones made by Judith Howard. This is Verbeek 72 key, owned by Graham Atkinson of Scarborough. This organ is a Gavioli Scenic 98 key, built in 1876, and it was rebuilt by Pilmers to a military band type organ and purchased in 1983 by the present owner, which is Saunders of Stockfield in Hitchin. been getting a bit muddled because the previous organ was the one belonging to Reeders, 98 key Gavioli, built in 1895, and the other one with mirrors, which I thought was the Reeder organ, I think must be Dalton's organ, an 89 key, built in 1897. Where art thou?
To the next call, which is speciality here. More details on that in just a few moments. For those of you on service disposition or nursing mothers, well, I warn you now, maybe a few... Done that before? You've never seen me before, have you?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, come on, Oliver, a little bit. Okay, you choose the next box. You're going to take the safety pin out. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oliver, why did you say... What did you say then?
Wrong one.
No, you mean the right one. The wrong one blows Philip's hand off. Oh, goodness me. Well, it's getting a bit dramatic, Oliver. There are 2 left. There's that one there, or there's that one over there. There's that one there, or there's this one over here. Or do you want this one here? Oh, he wants this one. Philip, you're all right over there. Nod your head if you're all right. It's a 3, 2, 1. Oliver, what have you done?
Don't know.
Well, Oliver, do you think it's a fiddle, don't you? Because you think that one's a dud. You think it is?
Yeah.
Oliver, walk with me. Come on, Oliver, keep up. This is Oliver Ramsey from Acomb. Have you ever seen that man in a black and white coat before?
No.
Have you seen me before?
No.
Did you volunteer?
Yes.
Is it fixed?
Don't know.
Don't know. I'm going to do a 3, 2, 1. If you'd have picked this one, this is what would have happened. 3, 2, 1. Then it would have happened. Our thanks to Oliver, and will you give a big round of...
Yet another 89 key Gavioli, this time owned by Len Crane. Doesn't very often come out actually. He brings his steam loco with the crane in front out, but not so often the organ. This is a 48 keyless Chiappa built 1920 as a barrel organ originally, and then completely rebuilt by Chiappa in 1964, converted to book of course, and owned by Mr. Hardy of Goole. Preston's 112 key Gavioli Scenic, built in 1908, was restored by the late George Flynn of Durham, who spent 15 years, most spare nights and weekends, doing that. He was a precision engineer, and all work showed his trademark to perfection. The organ is kept in perfect voice by Peter Hops. He's a pipe tuner with the famous organ builders Harrison's and Harrison of Durham. This organ was used in Showland Life by the Crichton family and the Kent Showman Messrs. Wools. Not quite sure when Richard Preston bought it, but he has this big tent and puts on a show with dancing girls and all the rest of it, which we may see later. It was acquired by Richard Preston in 1882.
lots of different routines. Some really suitable, I think, for the daytime. We've got a seaside and a sailor medley to bring you. And then in the evening, we've got some singing as well. And see, we're going back to the 1920s to bring you the Charleston. And we've got Hannah slapped, because yesterday it was Ron who was doing the music. Today it's the maestro. We've got Peter with us. So, Peter, are you ready? Could we have the Temptation rag, please? Kirsty and Olivia for a very hot can-can. Now then, this is where we sort out the men straight. Bend forwards and touch your toes. Girls, just check under those skirts that they're not cheating and bending their knees. Good. Oh, before we start, Olivia, would you step forwards and demonstrate a high kick for us? Just swing your leg up, no problem. Gentlemen, the girls are standing for... Oh, well, Amy, you're very small, aren't you? You have to get on your toes. Men at this end have got a nice easy kick here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, kick your legs. Go. Good. And the other leg. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Chris is excellent here. Now then, we do need to have the can-can scream. So if you lift your skirt up first of all, so we can see your legs, and kind of just rustle the skirt. Some minor adjustments there. Now, could we have, after the count of 3, a really loud can-can scream and shake of the skirt? 1, 2, 3. Skirt was beautiful, Chris, but could we have a scream as well? 1, 2, 3. Ah! Excellent. Right, if you'd like to come to this side of the stage, we'll have the music put on, not too fast. And here we go with the can-can. So, skirts up, gentlemen, poised for action. Could we have the music, Peter? Here we go.
this is an 89 key Gavioli built in 1896. I would guess at that it was probably originally a barrel organ and converted to book later. Here I have to correct myself again. I think this is a Verbeek 72 key organ owned by Graham Atkinson of Scarborough, toured with Taylor's Amusements of Cumbria. Doesn't say when it was built, but it certainly sounds as if it needs some attention. I would imagine that's why Taylor's sold it, although Mr. Taylor is always buying and selling organs, doesn't seem to keep them for very long. Possibly he waits until they get a bit beyond the pale and then sells them rather than have them done up himself. This Ruth organ is known as the Golden Ruth, belongs to Preston's. He doesn't very often bring it out, but at least he brought it out on this occasion, thank goodness, because I regard it as a very nice organ, which I remember from years ago when a chap called Mortimer owned it. back in the hotel room. Now you may have caught that. Back in the hotel room, that's the end of the tape. An hour, no, 3 hours and a half. Taken from 45-minute film camera tapes and two 2-hour tapes to copy it onto, which I shall copy down onto 1 4-hour for you with my best wishes. Cheers.